Hello and welcome to Sports This Morning. I'm Cecilia Omogbe, and of course, Tayo Salam will be joining me much later. Let's start off the show with this big news coming from Rangers International, where you have a promise has been kept. Rangers were able to present the 20 million naira check to the family of late Ifeanyi George.
Yeah.
Huge.
Promise kept indeed.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. This is fantastic for the Nigerian Professional Football League, and I fully expect every team in the league to emulate what Rangers have done. Also on the show, huge win for Aston Villa yesterday night at Villa Park. 1-0 over Arsenal. It was a stunning win. Arsenal still riding on two very important victories, but against Aston Villa relegation threatened side, they couldn't get the job done. It's a fantastic win. Trezeguet scoring the only goal for the Villains.
Fantastic win for Aston Villa, and for them what they have to do is to try as much as possible to win their last league game, and of course they will be escaping relegation. And for Arsenal, if they win their last league game against Watford, the highest they can finish this season will be 8th. And so for the first time in 25 years, Arsenal will now be finished in the top 6 in the English Premier League.
Too bad for the Gunners. Also on the show, in the NBA, of course, we're all counting down to the restart of the NBA, which is going to be at the end of the month. But today, scrimmages will tip off, and we have quite a number of games, 4 in total for you, including the Los Angeles Clippers. They'll be in action against the Orlando Magic. Cecilia, like I've been saying for the past couple of weeks now, the NBA will restart on July the 30th. And this is another step towards confirmation of what I've been saying all along. Scrimmages will start off today. Scrimmage is pretty much a practice game between teams, what we call friendlies
in football.
Yeah.
And once this starts, you know that the season is obviously around the corner. 31st, that's the date. 30th. 31st, of course, this way. That's when the NBA is starting. So we'll start off with taking a look at some of the practice games for today.
4 games, like I said, Cecilia. We're going to see the Los Angeles Clippers, the number 2 seed in the Western Conference, take on the Orlando Magic. That's going to be very, very exciting matchup indeed. Of course, the Clippers have a few issues that they're dealing with. We'll talk about that in a moment. There's also the Washington Wizards. They'll be taking on the Denver Nuggets. Denver, very solid side. We saw them during the regular season. They want to kick on from where they stopped before COVID-19 shut down this season. The Pelicans and the Brooklyn Nets. Brooklyn Nets, a lot of issues on players, injured players with COVID-19 that won't be a part of this Brooklyn Nets side. But the good thing is they've been able to sign some veterans who have come in to try and help the team during the restart of the NBA. The Pelicans, of course, all eyes will be on Zion Williamson. Zion is looking different from what we saw during the regular season, and for me, this guy is going to be a monster when the NBA season actually restarts. The Sacramento Kings versus the Miami Heat. That's the last game, but definitely not the least for games that will be played on Wednesday.
Okay. And of course, it's going to be a big one, just knowing that this is going to give us a kind of what is looking like in the NBA bubble. It's not going to be the usual home and away. It's different. Everyone is at the same place, playing at the same court and all that. So this is going to give us an idea of what we're going to see once the games start 30th of July.
That's what it is. I mean, when you start playing practice games, then you know something is about to happen. And the real deal is just around the corner. And very interesting to see what shape the players are in, because they've been away from the game for a long time. I know they've been in Orlando for a couple of weeks now, training and all of that, but we'll see whether that's enough when they actually play a proper game starting today. So the NBA is just around the corner. It's upon us, the restart of the season 2019-2020 that a lot of people feared was going to end and wasn't going to come back. It looks very much likely that the season will restart at the end of the month. I was talking about the LA Clippers earlier having a lot of issues to deal with. That's because Patrick Beverley, one of the most important players, the guard He has actually left the team because of a family
Issue.
emergency. And I said they're dealing with issues because there's also Montreal's Harrell, who's not part of the side. He had to leave as well because of another family matter. And you wonder how the Clippers will deal with the situation. But for Beverly, he's expected to rejoin the team soon. But we will need to follow NBA's health and safety re-entry protocol when that time comes. We don't know when that time is exactly. If a player leaves the campus for extenuating circumstances, it will be required to quarantine for 4 to 10 days upon his return. The period will be for 4 days if the players who left campus produces negative tests for at least 7 days prior to his return. So all of these things is going to make it complicated for whenever Pat is going to return to the team.
Clippers. That's why they're actually short-handed right now. And what the whole games is going to be looking like is the fact that 8 minutes will be missing because players won't have their names introduced and there will be no national anthem. So those are some of the changes we'll be, expecting to witness when it starts.
Yeah, for the scrimmages, right?
Yeah, for the scrimmages, of course.
It's not official games, so we don't expect
it's just like
all of that.
Just come and that's it. Okay.
Yeah. We will get to the real deal soon next week.
We can't wait for that. That's what the whole thing is. Okay, still staying with the U.S. main news coming is the fact that the Washington Open, known as the City Open, has been cancelled. So it simply means the season, that's the ATP men's singles, the season might just be starting with the Cincinnati before the U.S. Open, because the organizers of the U.S. Open are still saying that the cancellation of the City Open will not affect the other ones. They're just trying to put, standard requirements, safety of players, health, and all that, the interest of them before the interest of the sport. So for them right now, they're looking at the players, the safety and all that, and the fact that, well, they're looking at the financial viability of the whole thing, and they feel that, look, this may not just work for us. And so they're taking it off the mark, and they will be having it in 2021. So this decision will not impact the U.S. Open or the Western and Open, Western Southern Open, which is also the Cincinnati and all that. So it's going to be, well, let's just see what's going to happen, because we have players like Petra Kvitova saying that they may not just be going to the U.S. Open, and some players are likely going to pull out because, New York happens to be the place where you have, at a point, the epicenter of Corona until they move over to Florida.
Fingers crossed.
Fingers crossed to see how much impact it's going to have. But we'll see. It's still August 13, and that date is cancelled already for the first one. So we're looking at starting with the Cincinnati and, of course, before the U.S. Open.
All right, then. From tennis now, let's move on to MotoGP. We have updates on the champion, Marc Marquez, who suffered a terrible, horrific crash at the Spanish GP. The story is he's now undergone successful surgery on his hand, and he's looking forward to returning to the sport very, very soon. Cecilia, I'm not sure if you saw the crash. It was quite horrific. And if someone had told you that was going to come out of that crash with just a broken hand, you would have doubted it. But thankfully that's the situation. And he's now undergone surgery, and is expected to remain in hospital for 48 hours. And afterwards, he will continue his rehabilitation. And we're hoping to see the 6-time world champion back by August. Cecilia, I mean, this sport is so dangerous. I mean, any motorsport is dangerous. And whenever they suffer crashes, you're really scared for them. But you have to say shout out and fair play to the organizers of the sport. They've put in so many safety measures that I love the times when these crashes happen. It's not fatal, and most times they recover to race again.
Yeah, that's the thing. And the crash just happened 4 laps, from the end of the season opener. And that's the Spanish Grand Prix. That was on Sunday. That's when the crash happened. And so August 9th, that's the time we'll be expecting him. But then the team's managers, of course, are saying that they would not be rushing him. They will actually give him time to recover fully before he can be on track again.
No, not tennis
Is it
exactly. Let's
tennis?
talk about tennis personality. Serena Williams was in the news for, of course, not playing tennis because the WTA tour is suspended at the moment because of COVID-19, obviously. But she's in the news because she's actually decided to invest cash, a lot of cash that she's earned in her playing career in a football team, a soccer team, like they call it in the USA. That's the National Women's Soccer League. Serena Williams, alongside several other sport personalities.
Her daughter is also part of it, remember?
Okay, you're so eager to
Olympia
put
Honey and Junior,
Olympia
she's also
is also part of the
and the husband
group, and
is
the
also
husband.
part of it. But then the main owner happens to be the Israeli-American actress,
Natalie Portman.
I mean, she decided to put up all women. I mean, the thing is that they are all women. You have 14 former national team from the U.S.
From the
soccer
USA,
team, all of them there. Abby Wambach, she's right there. Lauren, there's so many, 14 of them. All of them decided to come together and put up National Women's Soccer League that will be National Women's Soccer League for LA, because said the city is so big, but then they don't have a soccer team. And of course, they have so many people who really want to support, the team. I mean, the name itself, Angel City, but then they don't have a real name for it yet. That's just, the acronym they're calling it right now. So there's so many stars. And of course, you also have Nigerian American. I'm talking about Uzo Aduba. I mean, she's famed for Orange is the New Black, the series. She's part of the actors there. So she's also part of the owners.
Serena,
Eva Longoria is another one.
Yeah, Serena, of course, is
it's the biggest draw.
It's our own.
Oh, okay.
What really concerns us, because she's not stranger to investing in sports. She actually has a minority stake in one of the Miami Dolphins, one NFL side as well. So this is nothing new for Serena at all, and very interesting way of securing the future of your child as well by making her a part of the investment group as well. So it's fantastic news for California. They don't have a soccer team for Cali not to have a soccer team. They've seen that opportunity, and that's why they haven't decided to invest. And so we're going to be having another soccer team in the National Women's Soccer League, making it 11. So the game continues to grow. The women's game continues to grow, and USA definitely is at the forefront of this one. Cecilia mentioned earlier some players from the women's national team, former players like Chini Holiday and Abby Wambach are, among 14 of them that are also part of this investment drive.
Yeah, and of course, so many actresses, all of them, Eva Longoria, Jennifer Garner, and all of them putting money together. So what it means is that they have the money to really put up this club, and of course they can get the best players across the world to come in. The money is the franchise of getting ready.
Shola Rogers always, I remember whenever Shola is on the show and we're talking about women's football, and now we can take it to the next level. And he's said it not more than once that women actually need to come out and put the money where the mouth is.
Yeah.
He says it all the time, of course, talking about Nigeria, but in America, I see all these women coming together.
So Nigeria, we need to do something. So that's the message you're sending out.
That's what it is.
Okay, now it's over to you, all the Nigerian women that have so much money, investment and all that. You can actually invest in the women's league and put up a club that, NWFL will obviously be proud of.
Why not?
So, we need to go on a break now. We'll come back. We'll be talking about Rangers International, what they're doing with the family of Ifeanyi George. Welcome back. We have Mudashiru Shitu in the studio this morning. Good morning. It's good to have you, John.
It's good to be here again.
How are you doing?
It's my pleasure. Fine.
You're welcome, Mudashiru. And,
Okay.
Let's
feedback first.
Feedback.
Okay, feedback first. You guys can talk to us on Twitter. And of course, send us an email using our social media mechanism. Just talk to us concerning, the fact that you're having women coming together to actually own a club in the U.S. Can we have it right here in Nigeria? Tayo mentioned women supporting the women's game, growing the game. I think we can do something like that. We have so many people, talking about the game, the World Cup, actually show how much support the women's game can actually get. So send us your comments and what you think about it. And also, we'll be talking about Ifeanyi George on the program. Now, Rangers International decided to do what most clubs haven't done in a long while. I don't know if it's been done before.
No, I think
this is the first
blazing
time
the trail, really.
Setting the standard when it comes to insurance of your players. Other clubs need to follow suit. So I want to hear your comments and what you think about that. How maybe this can actually be enshrined in the, what LMC should be doing, responsibility of the clubs to do such, and how LMC can actually make some of these clubs, part of the things they should be doing when a new season will start. Of
course, I mean, a lot to talk about on the show as well today. United fans can talk to us about David De Gea. Should he be dropped? He's been, faulted for a couple of goals recently, and the pressure is on for the manager, Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, to drop David De Gea for their match later tonight against West Ham. There's also Arsenal losing against Aston Villa, surprisingly, after defeating the big dogs in the last week, going to go and lose to Aston Villa. Arsenal fans can let us know about that as well. And before we go, get the thoughts of Mudashiru on what's going on in Rangers and how they're blazing the trail. We're going to continue our Instagram Live session later today. And today we have a big guest, former Super Eagles winger.
Not today, it's going to be on Thursday.
On Thursday, excuse me. Former Super Eagles winger, that's tomorrow. Tijani Babangida is going to be talking to Austin Okon Akpan. And I imagine it's going to be very, very
explosive as usual.
Exciting and fascinating conversation between these two. Of course, we'll be bringing you excerpts from this particular discourse on our subsequent programs.
So let's that's the way it's going to be. Don't forget, 5 p.m. on Thursday on our Instagram Live series channels television. Just once it's 5 o'clock, you just join us live on Instagram. Okay, now let's talk about the big deal of today. Rangers International handing 20 million naira check, to the family of late George.
Ifeanyi George. Cecilia, when the story first of all happened, I mean, when it was reported that Rangers were going to give 20 million naira in insurance money to the family of late Ifeanyi George, the reactions were a lot of skeptical reactions, like, is that audio money? Is it actually going to happen? Are they going to do it? Are they going to fulfill it? But guess what? They have done just that. I was seeing pictures are coming from the presentation ceremony, in quotes.
That's the daughter
and the girl.
That's the daughter and the girl. That's the daughter, just one daughter, and also the wife.
Mudashiru, I mean, this is just fantastic. It's laudable. Like I said, it's high time other clubs, emulate what Rangers have started.
Yeah, let me start with the fact that it's a good news for us, and the fact that Rangers, for you to send a press release to about many journalists in Nigeria, you definitely know you're actually doing the right thing. The press release was sent about the 20 million insurance benefit, and it's a bit of emotions right now.
Yes,
but it's a bit of emotions, and what we actually have to look forward is the fact that Rangers has actually done something that has not been done. Though we know that in the framework of LMC, we have that particular directive that there be insurance for players and all that. So maybe that's the offshoot of all this. Maybe Rangers decide to do something for a player who has devoted his time, his career, not just for the club, also for Enyimba. And not for Enyimba alone, for the continent. This is a player that has done so well. He was part of the historical win when they had some season ago. So I think Davidson Owumi and everybody in Rangers, with the support of the governor, you understand, has done so well. But what my question now lies is that the continuity with other clubs borrow from this, because before the death of Ifeanyi George, we have some players who has Nassau United and some also players. We have Uzu Joseph, who was killed, unfortunately, and some players that nothing of such has been done for them. So the question is, I will also oblige, according to the rule in the LMC, that other clubs should take good from it, and not just for the 20 million alone, for others not just for because of Ifeanyi George is a very popular player, for the fact that that should be a basic requirement for a club that calls itself professional club. So it's a very, very good one. And there's a breakdown of this, not just go out with the 20 million. We all know what the 20 million is for. We all know who we can query in the future. We all know who is this and who is that. So it was a breakdown for the sponsorship but that question also. Yeah, I feel your emotions right now. I think I feel it.
Because we saw pictures of the mom, you know, still, of course, still very emotional about the whole thing. And this money is consolation, really, what is important as well. And you were talking about the breakdown, which is very super necessary. 10 million naira to the immediate family. And the second one, 8 million naira for the daughter's education. Because, I mean, look at that girl, Ash. Yeah. I mean, she's going to need a lot of support if she's going to go on and achieve and realize her potential. And so 8 million naira going towards higher education is just fantastic. And 2 million naira as well to the mother of the girl. And so all around, like I said, it's consolation, but it's still very laudable.
Laudable. And where we're going to kick up from here, that's the point. And that's why other clubs need to also make sure.
I talked about it's in the rules, right? But
it's in the rules, but it's the enforcement.
Yeah, it's the enforcement. Yeah, it's in the rule. It's the enforcement. So that is a big step. David Owumi, who's the GM of the club, because it could have been not this way, perhaps if you don't have him there, you understand. But he decided to make sure that he did this. So to me, we expect other clubs, and not just the past, not just the future. What's wrong in Shooting Stars going back to the case of Isu Joseph and doing so much for the family? What's wrong in the other player, the popular player, Udoji, forget Chinedu Udoji, who we know is very, very popular in the Nigerian Premier League? What's wrong in Kano Pillars going back to do the same thing? You understand? Not just for what will happen in the future.
Maybe they may have done something.
Yeah, but more laudable. I know money was given to Udoji. I know money was given, but
was given to the family.
For the family, but more laudable. This is not just money given. This is an insurance.
Yes,
you understand? So it's not about you taking the whole cash and go. It's about anytime you need this money, this is where you take them from. Okay. So it's laudable. So they should go back. Shooting Stars, Kano Pillars should also go back. And for the future occurrence, you understand, they should also give a light that this is a professional football.
Okay, let's listen to the brother, you know, thanking everyone involved in this for being able to fulfill this promise. As Atayo mentioned earlier, people were thinking, is it audio money? But then we'll see pictures of the presentation of the check. And of course, at the end of the day, it's a good thing.
I want to use this opportunity to say thank you to Rangers International. Thank you to the General Manager. Thank you to the Governor. Thank you to insurance company. Thank you to the representative of NFF. Thank you for his co-players and everybody around. We, the family, George Ifeanyi, because we do appreciate this. I know this has never happened before in Nigerian football, but Ifeanyi has sacrificed himself for this, because I definitely know this is going to be a stepping stone for other clubs to take a step. So therefore, I use this opportunity to say thank you. But I wish my brother was alive today, but there's nothing I can do. God knows the best. But thank you.
Overwhelmed with emotions there, okay? And not just that, you know, they announced earlier that they will be retiring his jersey number 15, you know, just to honor him. I mean, immortalize it. Just a moment that's still very fresh. It's like, you know, it's just that's still the dot there, you know, the flowers on it, and Amobi, the Rangers team manager, also talking about the reason why they had to do this for Ifeanyi George. Let's listen to, you know, let's just listen to Amobi talking about the reason why they had to retire at jersey number 15.
The jersey number 15 for Ifeanyi George. Ifeanyi lives with us. Ifeanyi will forever be with us. We retire this jersey, not to send the number into extinction. We retire this jersey because Ifeanyi has the strength and resilience of a Ranger. We retire this jersey because Ifeanyi needs to rest. We retire this jersey because Ifeanyi broke a lot of genes, one of which was the victory at the center of Cairo against Pyramids. That long goal that still reverberates in our minds. We retired this jersey to celebrate a soul that is so pure. Note that he lives with us, and that is why we don't use words. He lives with us, everyone. Ifeanyi lives with us. We retired this jersey in honor of the foundation of Rangers. We retired this jersey, and we say that in retiring this jersey, this incident will never befall us again. All right.
Okay, hopefully I'll say amen to his prayers there. May that incident not happen again before you, because Ifeanyi George incident was really a very, very heartbreaking one. It was on his way, from camp when they were leaving, driving back to Lagos. Of course, he had the accident. And
I think that's what emphasizing on, that the reason for his death. So a lot of people might be thinking that don't know that it was a car accident coming from Lagos. Might we want to relate it with something not about that. So he died of a car accident. With two other people, let's don't forget, with two other people.
That was March
It's
22nd, just when the closure was about to start. Okay, let's move away from that heartbreaking moment and talk about what's happening in the English Premier League. Some games, right? We'll start with the games decided
last night.
And of course, Watford, they sacked their manager, and of course, I think so many people were actually praying that because of that sack, maybe the club can go on relegation. And they know that there was a coach, Nigel Pearson, that was doing a very fantastic job. And if you're okay, you haven't done enough, something may have happened in the boardroom. At the time he took over Watford, I remember before that, Watford were beaten, was it 8-0, 7-0 by Man City and all that? So, I mean, they had some, before he took over, Watford was actually at the bottom. I mean, this is the first time we're having a particular club having how many managers? Three
in a season.
In a season. What are you doing with 2 games to
the
go?
owners of Watford are very trigger happy, and they're renowned for sacking and hiring coaches. So it's nothing new at all. But the issue is they're still looking doomed because they played against the Man City side who have nothing to play for, and they still lost by 4 goals to 0. Let's the dark side and talk about Aston Villa and Arsenal. Aston Villa, huge win. This win was able to move them out of the drop zone, and they're looking, they have their fate in their hands now. For Arsenal, it's a disappointing loss, especially after those 2 impressive victories that they had last week.
Yeah, interesting. And somebody said Arsenal are masters of inconsistency. I don't know what that person means, because after defeating Liverpool with the Manchester City, and if you're going to lose, you should be losing to somebody in the same. You understand? But that's fine. That's fine. And it's a good one. Let's not just look at the side of Manchester Arsenal. It's a very good one for Aston Villa. And that's where the important talk should be all about, because they are trying to save themselves from relegation. And they did that not just with a draw, with a point. They did that with 3 points, not just with any of the level with them, with the Arsenal that have just defeated Liverpool and Manchester City. What does that point say? That this EPL is always the best when it comes to what you never could know where you're going to get your surprise. And that doesn't really mean that Aston Villa, with the games remaining, they're out of the whole relegation zone. But what's interesting is that
the future is in their hands.
The future is in their hand right now. It was out of their hand. They brought it to within themselves. And I think it's interesting to let everybody know that Aston Villa would do themselves so well if they remain in that.
All they have to do is to win their last leg game. So if they can do that, well, that's it for them. Okay, let's talk about the games for today. Today also, we also have, West Ham and Manchester United will be in action. And of course, Liverpool, Chelsea, United also, chasing top 4. Yeah, if they can beat West Ham, they have it. But if they cannot, they'll have to wait to beat Leicester on the final day. But West Ham also need a point from this game to be sure that they are safe before the final day. Of course, Liverpool and Chelsea, they're just playing for, nothing much. Chelsea already have that.
Chelsea needs this is today's match.
Wait, Chelsea are actually 3 and a point Ahead of
behind Manchester United.
Yeah, they
and
still need
Leicester
to get a
City.
win
A win
to
to guarantee
qualification
qualification
for the
for it.
Champions
For
League.
the
Yeah.
Champions
So
League.
Liverpool will be celebrating. So Chelsea should take advantage of that fact.
Celebration.
That those guys are in celebration mood.
Yeah.
And that's what Frank Lampard.
Yeah.
We'll get your thoughts in a moment now, but let's listen to Frank Lampard speaking on ahead of this match and what to expect from Liverpool, as well as Chelsea's chances of qualifying for the UEFA Champions League next season. Yes, Frank Lampard there speaking ahead of tonight's match. Very important for Chelsea to get a win so they can secure a top 4 finish, while Liverpool are just looking forward to celebrating and lifting the Premier League for the first time in 30 years. Mudashiru.
Yeah, interesting. And, when two things can happen at the same time, one will be lifting the trophy and one will be hoping to get a qualification. You understand? So that shows different moods. But nevertheless, Lampard had just said that it's not because of the defeat that Liverpool have suffered. He's expecting them to actually put up a tight fight, because it has to do with two big clubs. So it's not just going to be a walk in the park for Chelsea, and knowing that if they get a draw, they might be out. But let's look at Lampard. Lampard has been in this situation several times as a player. This is the first time he's going to be in this situation as a coach. A situation whereby you determine whether you're going to qualify to the Champions League or not. A loss in this, a defeat in this will actually make him not go to the Champions League as a coach.
It depends on the other results also.
Depending on other results. But the only thing times like this is just to look at yourself and forget what others are going to do. So around you now is that they must make sure that they win this, win this and qualify. If not that, we'll probably see the fight between Manchester United and Leicester City. So it's a big one for Chelsea fan today.
It's a big one. And for Liverpool,
Liverpool. Liverpool players have checked out already mentally. They're on the beaches already, just enjoying. So Chelsea have no reason not to win this game.
They just have to win.
They have to win. These guys have checked out that they're going to lift the trophy today. Their minds are probably not on the game.
All right.
So,
over to you, Chelsea. Just build on what you did to Manchester United and see how you can, beat Liverpool and, of course, seal that third spot for the Champions League. Go on a break now. We'll come back. We'll be listening to Jurgen Klopp, the feeling ahead of lifting the trophy tonight. Focus on the game.
United have to win.
Yeah, let's just quickly take some tweets before we go to the papers. Pat says Lampard is just showering Liverpool with praises, so the Liverpool will be gentle on him to win. And Subom Jonathan said Chelsea will get a draw at Liverpool 2-2. And he also went for that to say that Arsenal always have a way of breaking the hearts of their fans. Then United should bench David for some games, like what Chelsea did to Kepa. Okay,
nice.
You see the best from it. Yeah,
makes it sensible.
Very sensible.
And he has a very able deputy.
The coach has already said he's got the mental strength.
Let's go to the papers. We'll see about
deal with it. I'll start with Sporting Life this morning. Sporting Life, finally Liverpool named engraved on EPL trophy, so they were going to be getting tonight. And Kante is out. He's got a hamstring, so he will not be playing tonight. And Trezeguet was the one who got that header. And of course, that's how their hope is still alive. Egyptian Prince. Yeah.
They have
They have like two. They also have another one. They have two players.
The other one is not exactly royalty. Just this guy scored how many goals in the last games now? That's 3 goals.
3 goals in the last game. So, okay, he's another Prince. All right, I'll take that. All right. Okay, Franco. If he's talking this morning, that's the Osimhen's agent. He says, okay, only forced Osimhen to dump him. Okay. There's so many stories about Osimhen. Just sign, and then we'll celebrate and say you signed, become the most expensive player from Africa. That's what we're waiting for. What do you have, Complete Sports?
Complete Sports, the man of the moment, the coach of the moment, Egbo, Emmanuel is talking. He says he's ready for the Super Eagles job. Of course, there's a rider there. This guy won the Albanian League over the weekend. First Nigerian, first black person to do so. And we're already linking him to the Eagles job.
Yeah, I think that should be the highlight of the paper review, because I think that two different things. Albania, a lot of people are hearing that for the first time they have a league, not that we don't know there's a league. So linking to Super Eagles job in the future,
Why not?
Yeah, no, it's a different ball game. You need to put
Okay.
so much, you understand, than just winning a league in the Albania. I can tell you that any other person in our local league can do that, you understand, with the right resources. So looking at the Super Eagles job, even as a club coach, not everybody want to go straight to the national
team
team.
management,
You understand?
yeah.
Everybody's skeptical about that because it's always a different ball game entirely. So if he's saying that, I'm sure he must have gone through another training prior to the fact that he needs to come to the
Okay.
Super Eagles as regards to training national teams.
Oh, okay. All right. Thank you so much, Bundesliga, for coming to the program.
It's
We
my
have
pleasure.
To pass hold.
Appreciate your time.
Always,
man.
always.
Appreciate your time.
Yeah, thank you.
All right.
All right. Thank you for watching. I'm Cecilia Mogbe. Do have a good day.
I am Tyre Salam. See you tomorrow.